7 attitudes that will make you happier. Most people think happiness is something that happens to you. They wait for the right circumstances, the perfect job, the ideal relationship, or enough money. But here's the truth. Happiness isn't a destination. It's not something you find. It's something you create through the way you think, the way you respond to life, and the attitudes you choose to adopt. So in the next 8 minutes, I'm going to share 7 attitudes that will transform your life and make you genuinely happier. These aren't temporary mood boosters. These are mindset shifts that change everything. Let's get into it. Attitude 1, gratitude over complaints. The first attitude is choosing gratitude over complaints. Most people focus on what's wrong, what they don't have, what's not working, what's annoying them. And the more you focus on the negative, the more negative your life feels. It's not that bad things aren't happening, it's that you're training your brain to only see the bad. But when you shift to gratitude, everything changes. Instead of complaining about your commute, you're grateful you have a car or access to transportation. Instead of being annoyed by your responsibilities, you're grateful you have people who depend on you. Instead of focusing on what you lack, you appreciate what you have. There is actual science behind this. Studies show that practicing gratitude literally rewires your brain. It increases dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals responsible for happiness. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes for your brain to find things to be grateful for. Look at Oprah Winfrey. She's talked extensively about how keeping a gratitude journal changed her life. Every night she writes down 5 things she's grateful for. Not huge things, just small, everyday moments. And she credits this simple practice as one of the foundations of her success and happiness. Because when you focus on what's good, you attract more good into your life. Attitude 2, acceptance over resistance. The second attitude is acceptance over resistance. Most people spend enormous amounts of energy resisting reality. They argue with what is. They wish things were different. They stress about things they can't control. And all that resistance creates suffering. But here's the thing. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means acknowledging reality as it is right now without wasting energy fighting it. Once you accept what is, you can decide what to do about it. But as long as you're stuck in resistance, you're paralyzed. This is a core principle in Stoic philosophy, which has been practiced for thousands of years. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He ruled an empire, faced wars, plagues, and betrayal. But he found peace by accepting what he couldn't control and focusing only on what he could. When you stop resisting reality and start accepting it, you free up so much mental and emotional energy. You stop feeling like a victim. You start feeling empowered because you're no longer fighting the universe. You're working with it. Attitude 3, growth over comfort. The third attitude is choosing growth over comfort. Most people prioritize comfort. They stay in jobs they hate because it's familiar. They avoid difficult conversations because they're uncomfortable. They resist change because it's scary. And in doing so, they stay stuck, unfulfilled, and unhappy. But happiness doesn't come from comfort. It comes from growth, from challenging yourself, from becoming the person you're capable of being. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. And that builds confidence, fulfillment, and genuine happiness. Think about someone like David Goggins. He went from being overweight, depressed, and working a dead-end job to becoming a Navy SEAL, ultra-marathon runner, and one of the toughest people on the planet. And he's extremely vocal about how happiness comes from doing hard things, not from avoiding discomfort, but from embracing it. Because growth happens outside your comfort zone, and growth is where real happiness lives. So next time you're faced with a choice between comfort and growth, choose growth. Take the risk. Have the conversation. Try the thing that scares you. Because on the other side of that discomfort is the version of you that's happier, stronger, and more fulfilled. Attitude 4, progress over perfection. The fourth attitude is valuing progress over perfection. Most people are paralyzed by perfectionism. They don't start because they're afraid they won't do it perfectly. They don't share their work because it's not good enough yet. They beat themselves up over small mistakes, and perfectionism doesn't make you better. It makes you miserable. But when you shift to progress over perfection, you free yourself. You start taking action. You celebrate small wins. You learn from mistakes instead of being destroyed by them. and you actually move forward instead of staying stuck in analysis paralysis. There's a quote often attributed to Voltaire: "Perfect is the enemy of good," and it's true. Waiting for perfect means never starting, but choosing progress means you're always moving forward, always learning, always improving, and that momentum creates happiness. Look at someone like Brené Brown, the researcher and author. She's built her entire career on the idea of embracing imperfection and vulnerability. She talks openly about her mistakes, her struggles, and her messy journey. And that authenticity, that willingness to be imperfect, is what makes her work so powerful and what allows her to live a fulfilled, happy life. Because she's not waiting to be perfect. She's just showing up and doing the work. Attitude 5, contribution over consumption. The fifth attitude is focusing on contribution over consumption. Most people are in consumption mode. They're constantly taking in information, entertainment, products, experiences. And while there's nothing wrong with consuming, it doesn't create lasting happiness. In fact, too much consumption often leaves you feeling empty. But when you shift to contribution, when you start giving instead of just taking, something powerful happens. You feel useful. You feel connected. You feel like you matter. And that sense of purpose and connection is one of the strongest sources of happiness. Studies consistently show that people who volunteer, help others, or contribute to their communities are significantly happier than those who don't. It's called the helper's high. When you contribute, your brain releases oxytocin and endorphins, which boost your mood and overall well-being. Think about someone like Dolly Parton. Yes, she's incredibly successful as a musician and entertainer. But what she's most proud of is her imagination library, which has given away over 200 million books to children. She's constantly contributing, giving back, using her resources to help others. And if you listen to her interviews, that's what lights her up. Not the fame or the money, but the contribution. So ask yourself, what can I contribute today? It doesn't have to be big. Help a friend. Share your knowledge. Do something kind for a stranger. Because contribution creates a sense of meaning that consumption never can. Attitude 6, presence over distraction. The sixth attitude is choosing presence over distraction. Most people are never fully present. They're scrolling while watching TV. They're thinking about work during dinner. They're mentally somewhere else during conversations. And that constant distraction robs you of happiness. Because happiness exists in the present moment, not in the past or the future. When you're fully present, everything becomes richer. Food tastes better. Conversations are more meaningful. Experiences are more vivid. But when you're distracted, life just passes you by in a blur. This is the foundation of mindfulness, which has been practiced for thousands of years in Buddhist traditions and is now backed by modern neuroscience. Studies show that people who practice mindfulness are significantly happier, less anxious, and more satisfied with their lives. Look at someone like Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk who popularized mindfulness in the West. He taught that washing dishes can be a joyful experience if you're fully present. Not thinking about what you'll do after, just washing dishes. That level of presence transforms ordinary moments into sources of peace and happiness. So practice being present. Put your phone away during meals. Listen fully when someone is talking to you. Notice the details around you, because the present moment is all you actually have. And when you're fully in it, that's where happiness lives. Attitude 7, self-compassion over self-criticism. The seventh attitude is choosing self-compassion over self-criticism. Most people are incredibly harsh on themselves. They beat themselves up over mistakes. They compare themselves to others and feel inadequate. They have an inner voice that's constantly criticizing, judging, and tearing them down. And you can't be happy while you're at war with yourself. But when you shift to self-compassion, when you start treating yourself with the same kindness you'd show a friend, everything changes. You stop being your own worst enemy. You give yourself permission to be human, to make mistakes, to be imperfect. And that creates a foundation of inner peace that nothing external can shake. Research by Dr. Kristen Neff, a pioneer in self-compassion research, shows that self-compassion is strongly linked to happiness, resilience, and emotional well-being. People who are self-compassionate are less anxious, less depressed, and more satisfied with their lives. Think about how you talk to yourself. Would you talk to a friend that way? Probably not. So why do you talk to yourself that way? Start practicing self-compassion. When you make a mistake, say, "That's okay, I'm human. What can I learn from this?" When you're struggling, say, "This is hard right now, and that's okay. I'm doing my best." That shift alone will transform your happiness. So to recap, choose gratitude over complaints. Choose acceptance over resistance. Choose growth over comfort. Choose progress over perfection. Choose contribution over consumption. Choose presence over distraction. And choose self-compassion over self-criticism. These 7 attitudes aren't just feel-good ideas. They're proven, powerful mindset shifts that will genuinely make you happier. Not temporarily, but deeply and lastingly. Because happiness isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you choose to think, respond, and show up in your life. And when you adopt these attitudes, you take control of your happiness. No matter what life throws at you,